Leona, are you okay to start the recording, please?
Yes, that's your recording now, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Afternoon, welcome to the Planning Applications Committee. Councillor Annette Ireland, I'm chair of the committee. I'd like to welcome the elected members present today. Provost Fletcher, Councillor Miller, Councillor Swift, Councillor McLean and Councillor Cornbury. With us in addition today we have Julie Nichol, who is the Planning and Building Standards Manager. Alan Pepler is the Principal Planner, Development Management. Ian Walker is Senior Planner. Sharon McIntyre is here as the Clerk to the Planning Applications Committee, and Leona Allison is Assistant Committee Services Chair. Do I have any apologies for absence?
Yes, apologies from Councillor Cunningham.
Thank you very much. Are there any declarations of interest on the, we've got one item before us today. Okay, thank you very much. Can I then move us on to that one item, which is reference number 2021-0305, Site D, Maidenhill, Newton Mearns, erection of 32 detached dwellings, and it's an amendment to a previous application 2016-0712, and amendments to roads and parking. Can I ask, is it Mr. Pepler, are you coming in to speak to, or is it yourself? Is it Mr. Walker or Ms. Nichol?
It's Ian.
Brilliant, Ian.
Yeah,
if you'd like to,
Chair.
if there's any information, if you want to speak to it, that would be wonderful. We'll open it out.
Yes. Well, just by way of a brief summary, this is it's a major application, principally due to the scale of the actual site itself, not down to the numbers of units or even the sort of scope of the application. It's mainly due to the site area, so that's why it's being considered by the committee. As the chair outlined, it's basically a change of house types. The area has already been subject to planning permission for the development of 32 units. And that was some years ago. It was through an application in 2016. It's a Maidenhill area, which you're probably all familiar with. It's been going through a build-out process over the last possibly 3 years now. Markets change, clients, customers' aspirations change, so they've updated the sort of the style and the design of the house types. And this is an application to regularise that for this Pod D. The additional changes and improvements to the road network and some additional parking considerations have been dealt with too. But other than that, it's a relatively straightforward application. 2 or 3 conditions to deal with. Amenity space has been touched on earlier, SUDS details and additional topographical and level information. Other than that, as I've mentioned, it's relatively straightforward, hopefully. No third-party comments. And as you say, the report's in front of you if you have any questions at all.
Thank you very much. Ian, can I open it out to the committee if anyone has any questions or comments? Councillor Miller?
Thanks, Chair. It's really just a comment. I spoke to Julie earlier on there about it might be better. It would have been better if the kind of road layout had been, we'd been given an idea of that, because all we see in front of us is just a kind of big pink blob. But other than that, I think it's, as Ian says, it's relatively straightforward.
Ian, I mean, the changes to the road layout that Councillor Miller is talking about, are they substantial road changes? Do you have any additional information? Because he's right, we don't have the plan in front of us.
Okay, bear with me. I'll see if I can get a plan that hopefully I can share with you.
Julie, you wishing to come in?
Just in terms of Councillor Miller's comments, Chair, we could, moving forward with applications, produce a slide which we can share with the committee, which would, where it's an application with a layout plan, we could include that, and that might be of assistance to members moving forward.
Thank you.
Bear with me.
think that would certainly be appreciated. Thank you.
Can the members see that? Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the actual the layout. In essence, the road layout is very similar. One point of access down from here, and then this sort of roundel arrangement. But primarily the changes are around about the corners and articulation space for long vehicles, bin lorries, that type of thing. So that's mainly where the changes have been. There have been some additional parking spaces introduced where my cursor is there as well. But principally, the actual layout hasn't, I mean, it's not changed radically. It's just sort of sweetening certain aspects of it in terms of just manoeuvrability.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Councillor Swift?
Thank you, Chair. Has the house type changed much?
Not much. I mean, they've always been the large houses. I mean, some of it's basically almost dressing and different treatment at the front, some mock stone detailing, things of that nature. But the actual scale of the houses are broadly similar in terms of what was approved previously.
Thank you.
Councillor Convery?
Thanks very much, Chair. I just wanted to thank Stuart for bringing this up again about the pink blob, because this is something that we have been asking for God knows how when. I mean, I've brought it up myself a few times, if we can have more detail on the plans, because sometimes we were getting them in black, they were just black and white as well. So they definitely weren't helpful, but the picture that you just put up there, I mean, I don't understand why we can't just get that anyway in the first place. So, but no, that was me. Thanks very much.
No, thank you very much. So the more information I think we can get on that report handling, I guess, around plans would be great, and yes, very appreciated. Unless there's any other Julie, you wishing to come back in?
It was just to say, just in terms of what we include within the report of handling, the only thing we'll consider is the scale and how it will, obviously, because it's having to be reproduced. I think it's probably easier now to see the information online, so it's possibly a bit easier to include more detail within the report of handling if required. But we could also, at the meeting, we could, as I say, show a couple of slides which would include perhaps the location plan plus a layout plan, and maybe even a detail, for instance, an image of a proposed unit, something like that, just to give members a little bit more information on the day. We can have a look at that and report back to you if
that would be great. Thank you very much. I think the committee would definitely like that. Thank you. Leona, you wishing to come in? Oh no, Councillor Convery?
Just quickly, because that's usually what happens anyway, Julie, when we were at the meetings in the boardroom. That Graham would normally put up a picture of the plans on the TV anyway. I mean, and that's good on the day, but beforehand, it would also be very good for us to be able to see these plans before the meeting, so we can really know what we're looking at, rather than a pink blob, as Stuart says, or even a black and white pink blob.
That's not good.
Ian, you wishing to come in?
Yes, Chair. Just in case if the councillors are still interested in seeing the previous layout, I now have it available if they'd like to look at it, if that would help at all. But generally speaking, the houses are of a similar scale. But I can share it with you if you really want to have a look at it.
I'm fine, but if any of the committee wish to see it,
I'm fine.
I'd quite like to see it if you don't mind. Just
would you, Councillor Swift, would you like to see it? Ian?
I would like
to be different.
Ian, if you've got that available, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
Well, let's hope the technology doesn't let me down. But yeah, hang on.
Sorry, blame Councillor Swift if it does.
It's usually my fault anyway, Stuart. That's fine.
Right. Oh, bear with me. Good grief.
It's just that we're quite particular about a lot of different things.
Understood. Yeah. I mean, this is the previous layout here. So again, as I mentioned, single point of access, basically a roundel, effectively, and the main differences are round about these junctions, and some additional parking, which was down in this area here. It's the same number of houses, similar scale throughout. They have this cul-de-sac feature as well, going off in a sort of, you know, an extended section off that side of the main body of the site.
No,
The
that's
Sid's
great.
Village,
Ian.
again, a similar situation.
That looks very similar to the previous plan. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's grand. I'm happy, content.
Noted.
Thank you. Unless there's any other comments, I'll move that we accept the officer's recommendation to approve, unless anyone is otherwise minded.
Nope.
No, that application is approved. Thank you very much, and subject to the conditions listed therein. That's all we have in front of us for the planning committee. We're back for the local review body at 2:30. I will see you shortly.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you very
Jen.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.